William Scott Owens, E4, Corporal, 231-496837.
Scott Owens comes from a military family. Following in his father's footsteps, he quit his job as a bank teller and joined the Army. The infantry represents everything Scott aspires to: duty, honor, country, Army.
I love my country.
Serving in Iraq, his unit was sweeping a factory when mortar fire pounded their position.
There was a massive boom and we got blown forward, and I could hear booms going off, but everything was black, and I was like, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move, you know. I couldn't feel myself breathing.
And then do one cross and then the other cross.
The effects of that mortar attack follow him to this day. In addition to his therapy at the VA, Scott endures daily physical therapy at home. It's not only the physical pain. Lapses in memory are just part of it.
Massive headaches, and there's this constant fluttering in my eye. Looked like a strobe light was going off in the back of my head. That was followed on by these migraines, and then there'd be times where my vision will just go blurry. Bilateral hearing loss, tinnitus, TBI, PTSD.
His service-related disabilities make it difficult to find work in the private sector.
Deborah DeCesare, rank was E4, Specialist 4, 573-960480.
Deborah DeCesare was a 22-year-old communication specialist serving at Fort Lee, Fort Gordon, and in Germany. She enlisted for a sense of purpose, to belong to a superior group. She was the Jeep driver for the company commander.
The brakes wasn't working really well, and my Jeep turned over. I hit this ditch and it flipped over, and there was no seat belts, there was no helmet, and then I fractured some bones in my neck.
Next stop, months in the hospital.
In the hospital, they had these bolts in my head, laying flat on my back. They had weights on the back of my neck, had me in traction.
5 major surgeries followed. Honorably discharged, she went on to earn a nursing degree, but...
And at the time, I remember the doctor saying, you know, you're really going to have problems later on in life with this.
The doctor's words now ring true. She can't hold a job because of her service-related disabilities. She can't stand up for long periods.
My last job was 2 days. They saw me stumble on the floor.
Veterans like Scott and Deborah and thousands of others need help finding mainstream employment.
When that employer looks at this resume, he wants to be able to read what you can do.
The Abilities Veterans Employment and Outreach Program has provided employment services for veterans in Tampa Bay since 2008. Services include assistance with obtaining employment, like resume creation, access to legal services, transportation, and basic living needs.
But some of the disabilities that these guys are coming back with, some of the employers are afraid to hire them because of the post-traumatic stress, and that's cruel because they can work just as well as you and I.
The majority of the veterans served are returning from Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. This program is made possible by the Able Trust, Abilities Foundation, Abilities Guild, Florida's Veterans Foundation, and Disabled American Veterans Charitable Service Trust.
And then it'll give you a button to submit your resume, and you can go ahead and submit it there.
The Veterans Employment and Outreach Program stages job fairs, putting veterans together with potential employers. They served our country. It's time for our country to take care of them.
Come see us. We can definitely assist you in your job search.
All right, thank you.
Florida's Veterans Program is part of the ServiceSource Warrior Bridge, a rapidly emerging national initiative serving the wounded warriors of the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Warrior Bridge provides employment services and support to help the wounded reintegrate into civilian life. Services are currently offered in ServiceSource regional offices in Florida, Northern Virginia, and North Carolina. Veterans' lives were changed by service to their country. These programs look to change their lives again.
I just can't do enough. I just feel that they need so much help. They really do.
Giving veterans hope of a better life ahead.
I feel honored that they have a program like this for people that, you know, are out of the service or that spent time in the service. There's a program like this that helps you go back to work.
I feel like they're a member of my family. And it makes me feel good to see that, you know, somebody outside of the military really cares about the effect this war has had on troops and their families, and that there's somebody out there that really wants to do something about it.
Support disabled veterans by contacting the ServiceSource Veterans Employment and Outreach Program and Warrior Bridge.